We got some people coming on. Welcome. I want to talk about the Andy Murray announcement, folks. A mortal among gods. He has been a pleasure to watch in this sport, and I want to talk about this announcement of his. Well, listen, it was a bit of a strange announcement. I think that most people will agree. It's sort of strange. It's sort of provisional. I want to talk about this, but for those of you tuning in, Andy Murray has come out at 31 years old after struggling with a major hip problem for it's been over a year now, well over a year. Well, he has come out and stated that he is going to retire from tennis. Again, at 31, at the age where most people are just breaking out. I mean, ask Kevin Anderson if he is going to be retiring anytime soon. No, not in this day and age. Federer, of course, 37 years old. Ivo Karlovic, who was in a recent final against Anderson and just narrowly lost, but he was 39 years old. 31 is a relatively young age to be retiring, but there is a pressing issue with Andy Murray. It's his hip. He's in pain. I cannot keep doing this, Murray stated in the press conference. I need to have an end point. The pain is just too much. Murray was the first British male to become a Grand Slam champion in 76 years when he won the U.S. Open in 2012. He also won Wimbledon in 2013 and 2016, an Olympic gold medalist in 2012 and 2016. He held the world number one spot at the end of 2016, and then it just slipped away from him. Right as he achieved the top spot, it was basically over for Andy Murray. What a tragedy in a way. Give me your comments. I'm interested in your views. But he has had a stellar career. Listen, the title of this live stream is A Mortal Among Gods, because that is really what Andy Murray has been. We have stated that there is a big four from time to time, but I think the more correct way to say it is that there is a big three, and then there's all the rest. There is Del Potro, Wawrinka, Andy Murray, and they are the mortals. They are the mortals, but they are troopers, they are soldiers, and they have given us some great tennis over the years. Well, for those of you tuning in, we are covering the Andy Murray announcement. I cannot keep doing this, Murray said. He can't keep playing tennis. Well, here's the question for you. This announcement is an announcement that he will retire. He will retire, apparently by Wimbledon, but he said he might not be able to make it that far. He will be playing at the Australian Open. So here's the alternative, or the thought scenario, as it were. Here's the scenario where I think Andy Murray might just be around longer than he is stating he's going to be. What if Murray starts to win? What if Murray starts to win, folks? What if he picks up a 1,000 title? Or what if he just starts to perform? What if he just starts, having runs into the semifinals at Masters tournaments? He has a quarterfinal run, let's say, at Wimbledon. Is he really, and he's feeling better, is he really going to retire? I don't want to question Andy Murray's judgment. Listen, he's a kind and mild-mannered individual off court, and he's really won a lot of fans that way. He can be pretty short and terse and easy to upset, a little irascible on the tennis court. But he is a very good man. He's been good for the sport, and I do think that this is ultimately a provisional announcement. Clearly, the emotions were turning Andy Murray in a way during his press conference, in a way kind of analogous to the Federer thing, although quite different in a way, the opposite direction. But, the tears, the pain, the emotions. Well, Consistent with what I stated about Federer's situation, maybe Murray can find himself again in this despondence. Maybe he can. I am not convinced that Andy Murray is actually going to retire at Wimbledon this year, folks. I mean, there is just the contingency. If he starts performing and doing well, then I think he'll be around. Clearly, you're right, Mick Mac. He's in a lot of pain. He he is at a point in his career where he doesn't think he can go forward and move forward. Well, listen, it's hard to come back from being the world number one for the first time in his career. It's hard to come back and then struggle. To be quite honest, when Murray came back at Queen's Club this year, I thought he looked pretty good. I thought, generally speaking, he exceeded expectations. I mean, look at what Djokovic did when he came back. Well, there was the Aussie Open last year, which was actually a fairly good performance from Djokovic. Remember, Chung took him out, but remember in Indian Wells when he fell to Taro Daniel, and it was just looking like a very sad and messy situation with Novak Djokovic after his surgery. Well, not so with Murray. He waited it out for a long time, but he came back and he looked pretty solid at Queens. Unfortunately, he's not been able to turn in the results. Unfortunately, he is in a lot of pain. Let me tell the people that are here, first of all, I hope everyone's doing wonderfully. Second of all, I have a comprehensive Australian draw analysis that is done and dusted and ready to go, and that's going to be coming at you at the YouTube prime time, which will be Friday today in the early afternoon. And that is going to be hopefully a piece that elicits some comments and we can have a good discussion about that. But with respect to Murray, he's been good for the sport. He's got an enormous set of achievements behind him. And I think that ultimately it's the style of play that is wearing the players like Murray down. Listen, if we're going to think of another player in the big three that's most similar to Andy Murray in terms of the way he plays tennis, it's got to be Nadal. It's Nadal and Murray. In a way, they're cut from the same cloth. They are, full throttle players. They have some poise, but I would say, Federer and even Djokovic have a little more poise and sort of they can play in a more relaxed way and still be very, very effective. Whereas Murray and Nadal are just full throttle the whole time, and that will take its toll on a person's body. Well, the future, time will tell what happens to Andy Murray. We wish him the best, and all I can say is it's been a pleasure to watch him, and he's a good man. He's a good man. I hope that he's able to find inspiration in this despondence that he is feeling. He's very emotional, and I think that it's possible he could find his true self and his will to win again. But it's hard to come back again after being the world number one and turning in a number of lackluster performances. But hey, the Stanimal is doing it. Right? Delpo is going to do it. I don't know if Andy Murray is going to be able to live with himself if he does this, if he really follows through on this. The one contingency, of course, is that if the pain is just too much, if it's just too much, then we cannot ask the man, we cannot expect the man to persevere in playing tennis just because we want him to, or just because, the gods and other members of the old guard have set this very high standard in terms of how long people can play this game. Well, again, Ivo Karlovic, 39 years old, just in the final of a Australian Open warm-up tournament last week. We have a number of very old players, historically speaking, in context, that are excelling and getting great results and, in effect, dominating the game right now. So it's a bit surprising in that context. But the title of the post, again, A Mortal Among Gods. He's a mortal among gods, but he is an astonishingly good tennis playing mortal, and he will go down in history. The achievements speak for themselves. He is not a member of the big three. He's not really in the same category, but, and I think this announcement sort of confirms that. But again, that's with the caveat that I believe Andy Murray is not quite done yet. Listen, I'm going to keep this live stream to a minimum, and because I'm going to be coming back, I'm going to have another video later on today. I hope everyone is doing well. We have a fantastic tournament coming up over the next fortnight, and Andy Murray will be in there as well. So we'll be watching him very closely. Once again, I hope everyone is doing fantastically. If that's a word, I think it is. I like to stay away from the adverbs, but that's the one that slipped off my tongue. You know what I mean. I love you guys. I want your viewership. I want your comments. I want to have a fantastic discussion about this Australian Open. It's going to be a historic tournament. God bless Andy Murray. God bless you. Signing off from Boston.